I saw this movie Life of Pi twice 8 years ago while I was on my holiday in Taiwan. I really love this movie because it has many layers to it. There are so many ways and angles to see the movie. It's very difficult to draw a simple review of what it is. It's just so beautiful and cruel all at the same time. Recently, the actor Irfan Khan, who performed in this movie, died. So it brought back a lot of my memory about this movie. Even after 8 years, there's still so much about this movie that I felt interested in it and still need time to digest the experience. Ang Lee is really a master director who reached perfection in telling a story with movies. This is one of those few movies that you can watch again and again, and every time you can get a different inspirations. Most of this movie is about the tiger, the boy, and the ocean. Without the tiger, the boy would die in the ocean in their 227 days adventures. Without the boy, the tiger would also die. They represent a symbiotic relationship. In the first part of the movie, the tiger was living in the zoo and the boy was living with his family. Only in the second part of the movie, they become one and living together in one small lifeboat. And in the final part of the movie where they got rescued, the tiger went into the jungle without saying goodbye. The boy continued his life and go on to have his family and children. At the end of the movie, we learn that the tiger was a symbol of his internal character. The boy representing the spiritual side and the tiger represent the animal instincts. The struggle between the boy and the tiger is the struggle of our very own internal battles. As a human, we are both evil and angel at the same time. When facing with limited resource, sometimes our choice would be cruel and immoral by any standard. The same story can be represented with many different animals from the zoo struggle to survive on this lifeboat. It can also be represented with humans eating each other. Whatever we choose to believe, we created our own reality. Human can be animal and can be angels at the same time. For people who went through trauma and struggle, sometimes faith is the only way out of it. The real truth can be hurting and causing us to destroy ourselves. That is why without the tiger, the boy won't survive. I have many attempts to reconstruct the reality and the actual true story. It would be a horror movie instead of an adventure movie. Perhaps leaving the story with the boy and the tiger is the most beautiful, and that is how the story should be told. We all have our basic animal instinct for survival. We also have our wonderful human virtues. Our life is the continued battle of these two forces. In reality, both forces meet each other and should be in a symbiotic relationship. Depending on the course of our pathway, we need to balance it out, representing each force and simply view the reality as it is. In the movie, the boy grew up in a heaven with abundance and resource and many animals. He also learned many wonderful human virtue and practiced many types of religion. He also got interested in the tiger who and was warned by his father the danger of it. I can reflect my own life with a similar situation where I grew up in a very religious Buddhist family and I learned all virtues to be a wonderful human. The second part of the movie is when their lifeboat sink and the boy trying to survive on his own. that also reflect my own life when I left Taiwan and began my own adventure in Canada. Recognizing the forces from the tiger and the battle between two forces, the very difficult struggle for limited resources, I felt the same thing with many failures and struggles of my own. The third part of the story is liberation. When the boy finally reached the other side, which is enlightenment, coming out of cravings and aversions with the practice of meditation. We won't become enlightened until we see the lotus flower and understanding death. Only when our cravings and aversion can be purified, we can reach the other side and come out of the great ocean of suffering. This movie is so brilliant, so beautiful, and can be seen many, many times. 8 years after the movie, the actor actually died. It sort of completes the story. In the end, what is left is our teeth wrapped in a lotus flower with a beautiful story.